Right, so just like my disappointment levels, I like my footy team's giant. Just like my juice, I like my footy team's orange. And he ain't selling one for if he ain't from the West End Sydney. What the fuck? Last year, guns are blazing. So 2 years ago, there was this fucking vibe, this feeling amongst everyone. The Giants were surging. The orange tsunami was coming. The sirens were fucking whirling. And then the Pies fucking stopped all that. Toby Green was trying to kick some cunt's teeth out. Turns out they didn't have any teeth to begin with. Our plan didn't work. No, I don't know. We fell short, whatever. And then last year, all of the fucking, not the pressure, but like there was somewhat of an expectation that we'd do well. And I feel like we somewhat delivered. The entire year, I was sort of watching like, fuck, it's not really looking like what it looked like at the end of the previous year. It's not looking as clean. It's good. It's great. It's just not as clean. There was moments, and those moments were maybe better than what we showed the year prior, but we really had to like force the tsunami, and I think that was, I don't know if that's even I don't even know if that was like a coaching problem where we were trying to force it instead of using alternative shit, whether it was just the team wasn't gelling as well as it seemed to do in that like really high pressure situation at the end of the previous year. Whatever the fuck, you know, we did alright. We did alright. We made it to the finals, and in both finals games, we were having ripping performances. Until we weren't. But it's all G. It's all G. This year is the year of the Giants. I don't have much confidence when I say that at all. You know, we're not looking great with the suspensions off the rip. Getting suspended for making a 9/11 joke. Come on. The domestic violence one, alright, that's a little bit fair. But nevertheless, it's the year of the fucking Giants. And if it isn't, that's all G as well. It's all G. It's all G. The flag should be all G as well. The fuck? The ghosts agree with me. They start with G. It's all G. It's all connected. I've been fucking telling you. But I wanted to do like a weekly tips thing because it will document like my tips, because I've been doing tipping like last year and shit for like a work comp. It was interesting. Like I didn't look back at it, but I was thinking like it's cool to sort of have it helps like follow the narratives of the year and help them form and shit. And I'm bored. I should fucking dye the tips of my hair like orange or some shit. Opening round. Already off to a rocky start. So we were meant to have 4 games this week. Brisbane and Geelong being the opening one. And it has been postponed because there's a fucking cyclone or tidal wave. The orange tsunami's coming. No, but it's been postponed because up in Queensland they're all fucked. You can, I don't know, rest in peace to anyone who bought a ticket to that fucking game. Like had to fly out on an aeroplane just to go for a big swim. I think Brisbane were the favourites in that game. It was at the Gabba as well. So they got the home ground advantage. Obviously Brisbane fucking pumped Swans in the granny last year. So they were the favourites going in, I'm pretty sure, I think. But I just have this sneaking suspicion, well had, because the game's not running anymore, but I had this sneaking suspicion that the Cats were going to get it done. I felt like the opening game of the year, the Cats always like to shake it up a bit. Shaking it up could have well meant getting fucking pumped and, you know, not looking as good as they did towards the end of last year. But I had a feeling that they were going to win. Like, only by a small margin, maybe a goal. That was like my initial tips, but the game's off, so what the fuck am I rambling for? Next, we got the Swans versus the Hawks at Sydney. Oh my god. This is so much better of a way to start the year. The Hawks by far have the best like narrative going around them of last year following into this year. What are they going to do? Are they going to be able to keep up that momentum? Can anyone stop the yellow and black tsunami? I feel like Hawthorn, what they did last year was like what we were trying to push with the tsunami type of gameplay. They did that effortlessly and a bit better than we did. You know, being such a young team, just, I don't know, incredible things to watch at Hawthorn. And against Swans, who fucking disappointment city. You know, like Swans pulled out that game against Port and we were all sitting there going, what the fuck? How do you sit on top of the ladder that comfortably? Or like, what is the word? Like definitively, like how do you definitively have so much more of a better year than the rest of the teams and then pull a performance like that out against Port? And then I think their grand final performance is even more embarrassing. So, you know, lots of narratives going into this. It's very fucking exciting. I got a mate flying up there. He's a Hawks boy. So, you know, I'm rooting for the Hawks. I think they can get it done again. I don't know who's the favourite on this. I should check. Yeah, okay, the Hawks are the favourite. And, you know, I think for good reason. I think they're going to get it done. I'm predicting like a two goal win. Could blow out to more. Maybe we see a fucking little 25-pointer or something interesting to start the year off, but it's going to be fucking ripping. I'm pumped. Yeah, the Hawks are going to take that one. Then we would have had another game that has been once again cancelled because it was up in the Gold Coast. It was the Gold Coast Suns versus Essendon. Now, I'm an Essendon hater. I'll admit it. I don't think they're fucking good to watch. I don't think they got some wins. They got some talent. They got some flair. I'm not denying that there are things to like about Essendon. I'm not saying they're nothing. But holy fuck, I just can't get behind them. Just can't. There's that little voice in the back of my head being like, fuck man, you should get back on the dope. You might be doing better then. And the Suns, you know, disappointing year last year, definitely. But I feel like this is their year. They have to fucking do it. I'm so glad that Dusty didn't end up going there. That would have made me commit a terrorist act. But they don't need him. You know, they've got a lot of great young talent. I'm super, super excited to see what Mac Andrew does this year. They'll go. They'll fucking go. And I think they have a blinding opening round. I think they beat Essendon. I don't know how comfortably. Oh wait, they're not fucking playing. What am I think they would have had a good opening round. I think they would have bet Essendon, but again, doesn't really matter. We'll talk about that whenever it comes up later. So the second game of the opening round, the mighty Giants versus the dirty fucking dog shit Pies. Boogan. Fucking Boogan. I used to go for Collingwood. I'll admit it. My family's a Collingwood family. There was a time where the Giants didn't exist yet. Everything was still small back then. My mind was small and I was okay going for such a, I don't know, Collingwood's a fine team. I got nothing, yeah, no teeth and you're racist, whatever. Easiest club to joke about of all time probably, but fucking, they're old. They're washed, you know, like Collingwood's one of those teams that can fucking win any game, you know. They can pull it out at any stage. They know how to win. They know what needs to be win. Like they know what they need to do to win as a club. They got some real good talent and, you know, like I'm picking the Giants to win this. I'm doing that acknowledging that it's completely all bias. Like let's look at it objectively here. We've got a lot of pretty big outs. Harvey Thomas, my favorite of the Skeeter fleet. Don't get me wrong, the kid with the lid, an absolute gem. Future star, future fucking superstar, mega star. I think superstar's bigger than megastar, but who fucking cares? But I don't know, Harvey Thomas was the first one of that little Skeeter fleet that we had running around that I saw the potential in. I think he's got a very good footy IQ. I think he's very smart. He carves angles really well. Him being suspended for the first two, that's pretty big. It's pretty big. For a 9/11 joke, that's pretty big. I don't know which one he did, but fucking, that's funny. Tom Green's out on injury. That's massive. Tom Green is like crucial for our midfield. Jake Stringer, our new pickup, our only fucking pickup in the trade. What did we do this trade season? Oh my God. Losing Peatling is the biggest one. Perryman sucks and Cumming, whatever. Only because like we have other players that can fill the role of Cumming and Perryman like a little bit more. Peatling, that cut me to the core that we've lost him. You know, getting Jake Stringer in, that's good. I guess, but it sort of plugs a problem we didn't really have. And he's a maybe, potentially out on injury, potentially in, I don't know yet when I'm recording this. Jesse Hogan's out. Fuck. There goes the Coleman. I don't actually have him for 2 Colemans in the year. You know, I love Jesse Hogan. I think he's got one of the most sad stories and it's like, I'm so glad that in one of his later years in footy, I don't fucking know how old he is, put that up on the screen. But to pull out your best season of your career at that age, win the Coleman very comfortably and just fucking hands that have got glue on them. You know, that's a massive out. That's a massive out, especially because our like forward line is quite small. Cadman could stand up, you know, if Stringer's in, that could. It's not all doom and gloom, but it's a massive out. It's huge. Jake Riccardi's out. Toby McMullen's out. Joe Fonte's out. It's all on the kid with the lid. Everything is riding on him. Kid with the lid kicks it down. Cadman. 700 goals in the first quarter, we win. You know, the Pies have got the goey out. Houston's still suspended for a week, I think. I need to check that, but I think. Mason Cox is out and he should stay out. He should go back to America. No Yanks in the country, please. And Darcy Moore was missing all last year. He hasn't shown up for a fucking game since he won. I'm talking shit, but you know, I think our outs are we've got more fundamentals missing due to injury and suspension and shit than Collingwood does. I think that Collingwood still has the vast majority of their key players, where we're missing a handful of ours. But ignorance is bliss. The Giants are going to pump them. You know, it's a 50-50 for me in my head, because I think we're a better team than Collingwood when we're at our best pretty comfortably, I'd say. But we might, you know, it's the first game back, we definitely might not be at our best, and with the outs, it's, you know, it is what it is. But so two tips locked in. I'm going to go Giants. If we win, it's going to have to be more than a goal. It can't be a close game to start it off. I just can't do that. My heart might give out. So fuck it, we win by 2 goals. No, we win by 3 goals. We get a lead, like in the third quarter, we blow out our lead. The fourth quarter, they're fighting back, but we keep it at a 3-goal margin. That's what I want to happen. If that happens, that's fucking... and then, yeah, fucking Hawks by, like, 2 goals. 11 points. 11 points exactly. That's what I'm taking the Hawks by. Yep. And then fuck it, I thought I'd do a little ladder predictor. One of my brother's mates whipped one out around me once and it got me thinking. I was like, fuck, I want to do one of these. I want to craft up a little. I'm uninformed, by the way. I should mention that. I'm like a casual watcher. Big shit talker. Like to pretend like I know more than I do when I'm talking about things, and that my opinions are well founded, even though there was like a good 5 years of my life where I just forgot footy existed because bombs. But we're back in the deep end now. And I'm a fucking genius. Put me on Fox Footy. Footy Classified. Give me the host seat. This cunt is freaky to look at. Anyway, ladder predictor coming in 18th spot, last, dead last, wooden spoon. It's Richmond. It kind of has to be. The other young teams like North and Hawks, I don't know, maybe to an extent the Suns as well, they just have more depth. The talent is deeper. The prospects are bigger. There's not much to say positive about Richmond right now. That's not to say that in 3 or 4 years they're not a finals contending team, provided the rebuild works. But that's provided the rebuild works, right? Where we are right now, you know, they'll win 1 or 2 this year. Sorry. Dusty comes back halfway through the season, unretires, and is in a new prime, and then kills himself on national television. Coming in at 17th, I've got Melbourne. So Melbourne didn't lose any of like the talent that was feared that they were going to lose. Petrarca was going to leave, Cozzy was going to leave, Clayton Oliver was going to leave, fucking Max Gawn was going to be the only player left on the field, and none of them left. You know, like it all didn't happen apparently. Actually, all that drama that doesn't exist. Melbourne's fine. We're a great club, and there's no problems with the culture at all. I just, you know, I don't think that a team can have that much fucking shit going on behind the scenes and not have it come out on the football field. Like, you can't have the massive media blow up that happened last year where all the eyes were on the culture is shit at the club and fucking everyone hates it and half the people hate each other. None of the fucking team leaders get along right now. Like, it's hard, that's a very hard story to sell coming into next year. I think I don't think they leave the bottom 4. If they're not second last, because, you know, that's hyperbolic maybe, like I'm looking at it like fuck Melbourne, they're doing shit this year, but I don't see them leaving the bottom 4. I don't see it possible, and if I'm wrong then I'm fucking stupid. 16th we got West Coast. I think Harley Reid has a blinder year again, you know. I think West Coast 16th, I can see him doing better. I can see all the bottom 4 I can see changing around pretty easy. Maybe like the bottom 6, honestly. Fuck knows what I'm even saying. Fuck it. The ladder's actually gonna be the opposite of what I predict. Yeah, I don't know. West Coast has a West Coast year, you know. They don't look close to form of where they want to be, and I think it's just a weird time for the club. But I think Harley Reid goes out there and imposes his will as he always does, and I think it'll be still a fun season for West Coast fans, just I don't see us reaching finals or nothing. Next I got the Saints. Fuck them, I don't know. Fuck it. Got no reason why, just nothing to excite me about the Saints. Again, just last year was so close with everyone, and the Saints showed like a lot of fucking potential, and I remember saying like, fuck, maybe Saints will be a dark horse next year, but I don't know. When it came to it, I just haven't got the faith. I don't see them doing anything. Again, could be very wrong. Could be very wrong. I'm pretty out of the loop with most of these teams too. Like there's a few teams that I pay much more attention to than others. Saints I don't really pay attention to. I've got no real interest, you know. Wanganeen Miller, cool, do your shit, but hopefully it's good. 14th Essendon. The Essendon edge doesn't exist. Get back on the drugs. 13th Adelaide. If they don't do good this year, 13th is like, they should be doing so much better than 13th, and that's where I'm putting them. They should be top 8, you know. Rankin's one of the best players in the comp. They just took Peatling from me. You have to do good. You took Peatling. If you don't, I'm taking him back. I'll work the contracts out. Give me a job, AFL. Come on. I said this last year. I think they're flying under the radar for how shit they're doing, for how good their list is. Like Benny Keys, bro. Benny Keys is gonna have a good season. There's enough good players at Adelaide to make it work. It just doesn't a lot of the time, and they're close games. They're all these close games. They're nearly there a lot of the time, but they never fucking get it done. And I think this year, if they don't succeed further than 13th, that's the minimum they can do to avoid harsh scrutiny. Everyone's trying to sack the coaches of the top fucking 8 teams because they're not delivering. These fucking teams like Adelaide are just underperforming like crazy. And I see them doing that. 12th, Freo. I don't know. Freo could easily be in the top 8. Freo could easily be in the top 4. From here on, this is like last year where it's like all so fucking dense. I see top 12 being a really hard scrap, and it just depends on how the year plays out. It kind of depends on injuries, you know. If Jai Amos can remember how to kick, if whatever the other cunt's name is can remember how to kick. Their ruck situation is weird. I don't know. Freo is, it's just, they should be doing better. It's like Adelaide. These two, in theory, should be better, but I just don't have the faith. That's where I'm putting it. 11th, I've got Carlton. Fucking Owies going to West Coast. That's another reason why West Coast, maybe the West Coast bumps up. I'm not going to change anything, but like Carlton, I don't know, crumbled last year. Pushed the team way too hard and fell out of grace like a fucking comet out of the sky. I think a lot of it was coaching decisions, not not coaching decisions, like team management decisions, playing players that might not have an injury. But Kerno had been like struggling with his injury, struggling with his foot or his leg or whatever the fuck it was, ankle or something for a long time. Like it was noticeable that his performance wasn't delivering and he seemed a bit timid and shit like that up until the injury. I get you don't want to rest Kerno because he's the golden boy of your fucking team. He's in bed with every umpire apparently. And you know, that goes a long way. It's easier to kick goals when you have a free kick in front of goals. Sorry, I'm being a fuckhead, but you know, it's a thing. It is a thing. So I see him losing some steam. There's a potential that Carlton does a lot worse than 11th. And they're one of the teams that I like watch every game of because my missus goes for Carlton. So I'm quite like, you know, I pick up on the nuances of their game more. So I say, like, and I want to see potential in it. So maybe I'm overestimating where they land this year. I really don't know. But I'll keep them at 11th. 10th spot, North Melbourne. Now, I wanted to put them in the 8. I really do. My brother goes for North. It'd be sick if North did what Hawthorn did last year and fucking make top 4 or something, like do something unbelievable. I don't see it being explosive the same way that the Hawks were. But I do think with what they got in the trade season and everything, North have to deliver. Last year, I know they didn't win a lot more games than they had in the couple of years prior, and they got but they got close. That's not saying a lot, you know, getting close isn't winning at the end of the day, but it's something, you know, it is something. And the footy that they showed when they were on was fucking amazing. In those pockets of greatness, better than the best teams in the comp. But that's not what it's about. It's not about pockets, it's about having a 4-quarter game. But I think with the leadership that they'll now have on field with like Parker coming on and shit, if Alistair Clarkson doesn't fuck it up, North should place 10th or better or around 10th, you know, somewhere about there. They should not be near the bottom of the ladder though. And this is the year where I see them getting out of the bottom of the ladder. And I really see it. I think it's very possible. I think it's likely. I think if they come 14th, I'm going to be disappointed, sort of thing. Like, I think North should do pretty well. 9th, I got the Dogs. Again, the Dogs, Carlton and Freo. I'm happy with North at 10, but the Dogs, Carlton and Freo, fucking interchangeable. If Jamara can get off the bags and stop trying to fuck Rory Lobb's misses or whatever happened, I don't know, I'm putting shit on it. I don't fucking care. I don't care about any of the drama. But the Dogs is a bit of a messy situation. Like, again, I just think those like club troubles. I don't see them making the 8 this year. Rest in peace to Bond. You'll never win a fucking grand final, but it is what it is. Yeah, 8th, Port. Fuck, put Port in the category where they might drop. But I don't know. Horn Francis is going to have a ripping year. Burgoyne stood up in the final. My boy Burgoyne, he's going to have a ripping year too. I don't know. I like Port. Everyone I fucking talk to hates Port for whatever reason. I like them. I like the jersey. Lirioli's cool. Geordie Argies is dog shit. Marsh is dog shit. Radically is dog shit. Maybe I don't like Port. Who knows? But I see them making the 8. I see it. 7th, Gold Coast. They just have to learn how to win away, and I think they do it. Like I was saying before, I think that this year is their year to sort of develop a bit more. They just need to fucking settle a bit. Come into themselves a bit. Just play your game. You don't have to be at home. You don't have to have these fucking conditions. Have a bit more confidence in yourself, you know? Take the fucking Mac Andrew and run with it, you know? Like, have that as your yearly motivation to do good things in the world. Then I had the Pies again. Fucking, I don't know. The Pies will probably do good. The Pies, like, I talk so much shit about them, and they didn't make finals last year, but I see them making it this year, but I don't see them winning the flag. I don't see them even necessarily making it out the first round of the finals. I see them like getting in the 8, doing what they always do, having a hot, cold year, and then having it pretty hot towards the end of the year, and then falling when it matters most. Which again, I know I just said Pies can win any game, and they're a winning club, and they know how to win, but fuck them. Not this year. Not the year of the Giants.
Fuckhead can't read, missed 5th. So I picked the Swans for that. I see them having, you know, decent comeback year, just not the same dominance as last year, and then, you know, probably having a mediocre finals run. That's about it. New coach. Yeah, here's what it is.
4th, Brisbane. Sure, they could do the back-to-back. They could have the year that the Swans had last year, but I don't know. I don't see it. I think throughout the year, Brisbane was pretty inconsistent. Not really, but like they had a slow start, came back really strong, and became probably the team to beat. And I don't necessarily see them doing the same thing. I see them more having like a hot-cold year where they're much more hot than cold, but have flaws in their game plan that other teams will be able to exploit. That's the biggest way I see it. Coming in at number 3, I hate to put us here, but the mighty Giants, we're not sitting on the top of the ladder. I'm not fucking insane. We're not the first pick. I could honestly put us around 4th. I see us making the 4. I see us definitely making the 8. If we don't make the 8, we fucked something up. The suspension's really fucked something up if we don't make the 8, but that's what I'll blame it on a 9/11 joke and a rape joke, whatever. I see us having a slow-ish start to the year, but not like Brisbane where it was like really really slow. I see us like winning 1 or 2 and then losing a couple and then not winning by big margins and then picking up steam towards the end of the year. I see, like, I don't want to be in the position, even though I feel like we play the best on the back foot, I feel like we play the best when we need to win, like when there's things on the line, we put in the harder effort and show out more. But I feel like that's not a good way for us to be winning as a club, and I think the club knows that. Like, I think that is something that Kingsley like talked about it last year. Like, there was flaws in our game, there was holes in our game, and we did need to address them, and we do need to address them throughout this year. And I think that's the mentality we're going to have going into the year. We don't want to be forcing the tsunami, relying on these comeback wins, relying on this rush of energy burst footy where no one can keep up with us and then we're fucking spent for the next quarter. None of that. We're going to stable out the game. We're going to take the things that we're good at, that fast ball movement, that quick running in waves sort of thing, but we're going to get it and lock it down really fucking well. We're going to draw it out so that it's not as bursty and it's more even across the 4 quarters. I want to make bigger statements at the start of the year. I don't know. I see us placing 3rd. Second, Hawks. I also think the Giants beat the Hawks when we versed them during this year. Last year we lost 1, beat 1-1 on a fucking massive comeback. Unbelievable comeback that was. Holy shit. The one thing that makes me not super confident with this placement is that maybe every other team will have them figured out because of what they did last year, where it was such a blinding surge. Like, I feel like every other team is going to be like, well, how can we implement what Hawthorn did right in our own club? Also, how do we stop clubs doing what Hawthorn did? I think it's going to be like a conscious coaching thing from all coaches across all clubs to like understand that style of footy was fucking everyone up. It was even just shocking people. And like, now that it's been seen, I'm not saying it's found out. I'm not saying that there's not too much film study. You know, there's still a question mark above how Hawthorn will carry on the momentum that they had at the end of last year, especially on a pretty, they could have beat Port. They could have beat Port at the end of last year. Fucking, if Ginnivan didn't talk shit, then Port might not have had that, like, they played their grand final against Hawks last year. They threw everything at the fucking wall to beat Hawks, and they did. And Hawks could have easily bet them. The situation was a little bit different, if there wasn't that pressure around Hinkley and shit. I don't know, I just see Hawks, I see them having a really good year. I don't see them going backwards, and I'm very excited to watch that season. And number 1, Geelong, I don't know, fuck it. Bailey Smith just comes in and they win. That's it, I don't know. Maybe I'm actually getting swayed, because I feel like now I'm like, how many difference did I get from my mate's list? Did I just remember all of them and pick all that? Oh, that's a good idea, I'll take that one. I don't know, but I think he put Cats second. Cats just finished first, but I don't see him winning the flag. Like, I see Cats doing what we did last year, making the top 4 and then losing both their fucking games, losing their chances. That's crazy. I don't know. Fuck it, I stand by it. And that's my ladder predictor. Think about it what you want. If you dislike it, whoa, you're probably correct. I'm probably wrong as fuck on that. It is what it is. That's what I think is going to happen. To end things off, I wanted to spice it up a little bit. I do some UFC predictions for the card this weekend. I was going to fucking just main card fucking top predictions and who to bet on and everything, because, it's a cracking card. It's stacked as fuck. But I don't know. It's a very tight card. I think most of the fights could go either way. There's a lot of 50-50s. And again, this is super casual. More casual than the footy. More casual than the footy. I'm not even a casual. I'm scrubbing it. I obsessively get into things where for like 2 months, all I fucking do is consume every UFC fight of all time and watch it, and I was just reading histories of prolific fighters and shit. So I got into it over the last year or 2, and so take these opinions with even more of a grain of salt than any of the fucking footy opinions. But the only fight that I'd actually fucking like confidently say is the Curtis Blades, fucking like Rizvian Kuniev or whatever, the Dagestani lad. Bet your house on Curtis Blades winning that fight. I don't know why. Look, give me like a Dagestani dick and I'll ride it. But I don't see this lad coming into the UFC on his first fight and taking out Curtis Blades. I just don't see it happening. There's all that shit like he was a massive roids cheater. He doesn't look that dominant. Blades is still a dangerous lad. This is the only one where I'm like, if Curtis Blades loses this, holy fuck, he fucked up. This is his fight to lose type shit. He should easily win this. And he fucking, so for the 2 main events, I like Justin Gaethje a lot. I really like him. And I like Dan Hooker a fair bit, as well. I think he's very funny. I think when that fight was announced, everyone was salivating at the mouth to see someone die. That was like, Hooker said it. They wanted the violentest fight they could possibly put together, and they did it. That is probably the most bloodbath waiting to happen of all time. Hooker breaks his hand and can't fight. Understandably, his hand looks like a fucking balloon. And Fiziev standing up to be the replacement. It's not a bad fight, don't get me wrong. Their first fight was fucking cracking. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be violent. It's gonna be fucking high intensity. It's gonna be fast paced, stand and bang shit. It's gonna be a war. But it's not even that, it might actually be a more technically better fight. It's just not Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's close. It's very close. It's probably the closest you get. I would have liked the Poirier 3-1. That would have been sick, but I understand. I understand. This one makes probably the most sense for the UFC to make. The problem with it is that, like, Hooker versus Gaethje, I take Gaethje. I like Gaethje's fight style more against Hooker. Hooker being the taller opponent, like, I feel like it just has more openings for Gaethje to land something bigger, if that makes sense. But for Zeev, like, it poses this different challenge for Gaethje, and I still think Gaethje wins. Like, I just see him winning it. If he wins more dominantly than the first fight. That's just because he's met him before. He knows what's up and coming. I think that Fiziev is the more dangerous fight for Gaethje. I think that, yes, Hooker would have been more violent, it would have been more explosive, but Fiziev could easily just sleep Gaethje. Round 1, just hit him clean. Just ripping kicks to the body and putting them down. Like, I see it. I feel like it's more dangerous, Gaethje was in a camp they're both strikers. Like, it's not like he's getting thrown up against a wrestler now. But, I think it's going to be it makes it in my head a much more 50-50 fight. I'm still taking Gaethje to win though. Probably biased, don't give a fuck. Main card event, Pereira versus Ankalaev. Those cold Russian mountains. There's something about them. They produce fighters that just speak to me. I love watching Ankalaev fight. I like the style. I like the slowness, the bigness. He feels like a mountain moving. It's cool. He's just a sick fighter. And Pereira is obviously fucking Pereira. Like, it is what it is. Probably the biggest name in UFC right now. Probably, yeah. And this is probably his hardest challenge and all of that. I still think he wins. I think Pereira wins. And it sucks because... No, it doesn't suck. I just think it is what it is. But it's 50-50. Like I said, this probably is Pereira's hardest challenge. So if he is going to take a loss, this could be the one. It could be a pretty embarrassing loss, honestly. Like, he could just get fucking manhandled. Don't see it happening. I'm not one of these cunts that thinks Pereira's got no takedown defense. But that's all he's been training. I guarantee you that's all he fucking trains. His kickboxing is fine. He doesn't need to improve that to the level where, like, he's in MMA, he's great at what he does on the feet. He can just focus on training wrestling. I believe that's what he's done. He hasn't fought people who are willing to wrestle him, so we haven't seen it, sure. But, like, in what we have seen with the takedown shit, he looks good. There's that video of him and DC, and DC's crying for help at the end. So yeah, I don't know. I see Pereira probably winning, but again, this one is maybe not it's a 50-50 because it's whether or not Pereira can knock him out. It doesn't go to decision, and if it goes to decision, Ankalaev probably wins. And, like, it's either an early round knockout for Ankalaev and just fucking catches Pereira completely off guard and sleeps him, or Pereira sleeps him in any one of the rounds. Like, there's danger on both sides, and it'll be a ripping fight. Both of the main cards will be absolutely ripping. But yeah, I got fucking Pereira probably, Gaethje hopefully, and fuck it, yeah, Curtis Blades. Bet your month's rent on that. I will bet my month's rent on that, and then my girlfriend will leave me, and I'm pretty sure that's never gone bad in the history for any male ever. I'm just looking at the main card now. I'll do the rest of these. I think Bobby Green loses. Ruffy beats him. I don't know. I know fuck all about the girl that Lamos is fighting. I don't actually even recognize her, to be honest. So fine, I'm picking Lamos because she's okay in the video game. I'll take Jalen Turner to beat Bahamondes. Maybe that's I'm 50-50 on that. I'm very 50-50 on that. I'm like not even confident. And then yeah, Gaethje, Pereira. ESPN, Fox Sport, Channel 9, Impartia Footy. What's the one with fucking Sam Pang? Get me on the front bar. Get me in the octagon with Kane Corn. I want David King umpiring a fight between me and Kane Corn. You thought John Jones was bad with the eye pokes. You fucking thought DC was bad with the eye pokes. Kane Corn is taking his gloves off and doing fucking this at me. But I just spinning wheel kick. That's it. I'm a Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I'm a Muay Thai world champion, kickboxing world champion. I'm from Dagestan. Alex Pereira, this is a call out. Tom Aspinall, this is a call out. Yeah.